haven't just like sat down and chatted to a camera in 450,000 years. There was like a short clip of me like sitting on my floor while I was packing in the last video, but I haven't just like sat and talked. But I've had this idea for a video for a while. I've been sitting on it like since I took this trip months ago, and now I'm finally doing it. Mostly because I bought myself an iPad. Don't look at my laundry. Rude. And I feel like this has like revived my, not creative, but like my productive juices. I always joke that like I'm cursed with being creative but not artistic. Like I have a lot of like ideas, but I can't like draw or paint or sculpt or do anything of use. So this is what it's come to, is me like, mostly I just coloring books. But I don't watch a lot of financial content, but I am also just like cursed with being incredibly nosy as a person. So I love seeing how much money people spend on things. So originally I was like, oh, I'll do like a what I spent in a month. If you don't know, I live in London. I moved to London almost 6 months ago now, which is crazy. And like, I like seeing how much things cost because again, I am nosy. Started with that, and then I started looking at like solo trips and traveling because I like to travel. It's kind of the things I love. Also, sorry if it's really loud. I should have plugged my microphone in, but it's too late now. I love to travel, but like I like to get good deals. I think I was raised like thinking that we were poor when we weren't. So I'm like so like frugal about stuff like that. So I am gonna do a what I spent in a month living in London video at some point. That is also like on my list written down here, but I thought it would be fun to start with a, hello documents, come back please. Start with a how much my Disneyland Paris trip costs. So to preface this, I went on this trip back in October. So I went from October 13th to 17th, I think. So it was a midweek trip. I flew with EasyJet because that was the cheapest option. My next trip, which is going to be in just about a month, just over a month, I'm taking the Eurostar. So I'll also do one of these for that if you guys like this, because then I can compare them. But I took EasyJet because EasyJet was the cheapest option, to be honest with you. And I booked this literally on like, I think I booked it on a Thursday and I left on a Tuesday or something. I literally booked this like the week of. The main thing, which, disclaimer, warning, I didn't pay for my tickets. My tickets were free because I had comp tickets. If you do not know, for some reason, it's the first video that you're watching of mine. I worked for Disney parks in Florida. I did 2 summer programs. Then I also worked there for a year last year, 2023, 2024. I also worked for DCL, Disney Cruise Line, for about 2 years. So I have a lot of comps built up. I'm still going through them. The trip that I'm going on next month, I'm actually going to get an annual pass, so that'll be interesting because that'll like feed into this, because obviously it's gonna cost a lot of money, like a lot more money. But I didn't pay for my tickets. So before you come for me, how's it so cheap? My tickets were free. And by free, I mean I worked my little booty off brushing 700 kids' hair for 2 years to get in for free. Otherwise, I flew out of Gatwick. I think most of the budget airlines are based out of Gatwick, not Heathrow, which is fine. So flew to Gatwick, flew to Paris, landed really late. It was kind of a nightmare. If you haven't seen the vlog, I'll link the vlog up here. I have never been so anxious traveling alone, but I made it. I booked a cheap hotel. Technically, it was a hostel, but I had a single room with my own bathroom and a single bed. Again, if you want to see the hotel, you can watch the vlog. It's linked up there. But I was just by myself. EasyJet out of Gatwick. Took the train to Disneyland Paris. I did book one Uber because my phone was horrifically dying. But that was the only Uber I booked. I took public transit for everything else. Went to the parks. I'm gonna give you a few different figures because honestly I spent a lot of money on merchandise, which was not the plan. I literally went being like, I'm gonna spend no money on merchandise. I don't need any merchandise. I own so much actual literal garbage. I don't need merchandise. But then my downfall in life is Pandora. Also, fun fact, if you don't know this, I work at Pandora. So I work at the Pandora in London, a big store. I'm one of the managers there. So I love Pandora and I'm like such a sucker for exclusive items. So I ended up spending a decent little chunk of change at the Pandora there on Disneyland Paris exclusive items. I would show you, but I don't have the bracelet on. You'll see in the vlog. That vlog will be out next probably. So that's my disclaimer, my start. I've already yapped for like 4 minutes. So let's hop into this. Some of these will be in weird currencies. I tried to currency exchange most of this for myself, but like I said, I'm a Canadian and I'm living in London, but I also was in France, so some things I booked on my Canadian credit card because I could get points and things like that, so they'll be in Canadian dollars. I'll put the exchange up here to pounds and maybe USD, depending on how feisty I'm feeling. So some things I will physically say in Canadian dollars, some things I will physically say in pounds, some things maybe in euros, but I'll try and keep the exchange up here. So my flights came to 163.44. I know my flight one way was like 25 pounds, so super cheap, but I booked with EasyJet because it's the cheapest option. It ends up being probably about the same as the Eurostar after I factor in having to get the train to Gatwick, so I'll talk about that in a second. But my flights were 163.44 Canadian. My hotel was 129.65 for 3 nights? 3 nights or 4 nights? 1 second. I'm gonna check this because I don't want to lie to you. I double checked. I stayed from the 14th to the 17th, which I think is what I said. So 14th, 15th, 16th. 3 nights. So I paid $292.65 for 3 nights, but then I also paid a $12.15 fee. I've heard this before. I didn't know this was a thing, but then when I booked my next hotel, I noticed there was like also a tax. Basically, you pay like a tourist fee, which I know you do if you stay in like Anaheim as well. So I paid $292.65 beforehand, and then $12.15 when I stayed on site. Together, this came to $468.24 for my flight and hotel, which again, not crazy expensive, and London is free. Now, onto the trains. My train to Gatwick was £14.55. And then my train back from Gatwick was also £14.55. I live in Zone 3, North London, near like Highgate area. So for me, it's going from Zone 3 to Zone 1, and then also through down to Gatwick. So this train cost, as far as I know, I was trying to see if it was charging me separately for the train to the airport and then also just the tube and the bus. I take the bus and then the tube and the train to the airport. But I think this was just my overall cost. So I'm pretty sure this was my bus to the station and then my tube from Highgate into Central to, is it King's Cross that I think I transferred at? King's Cross or Holborn, and then out to the station. But it was $14.55 each way pounds. In Paris, they're a little bit wonky. They were probably the exact same amount, but I put on my Canadian cards. The exchange rate probably just changed in the matter of like a week, but it was around $30 Canadian, so like 16, 17 pound to get from Charles de Gaulle, which is the airport I flew to what airport? I think I went up to Marlaval, Chessy, both times. So like basically the end of the tube line. Not the tube, basically the end of the train line to Charles de Gaulle. Altogether for all of my transportation to and from the airports on both sides, it comes to $112.11. Buses, what I took in Paris, I stayed at Eklo. I don't know if I said the name of the hotel. It is basically the cheapest hotel hostel you will find in the Disneyland Paris area, but it's pretty close. It's like a 15-minute public bus from directly outside the hotel to like directly outside Disneyland Paris, which is why it worked for me. I'm staying closer at Val d'Europe on this trip, so I can just take the train in, but I do think the train is a little more expensive. I think the train is like €2 compared to like €1 on the bus, something like that. So we'll see how that makes a difference, if it's actually that much faster or what. But I did take the bus. My prices are kind of wonky because I paid on my US card, or I paid on my European card, like my UK card, then I paid on my Canadian card. But I took the bus 3 times. I actually took the bus 4 times, but they didn't validate our tickets some of the times because at the end of the night, you're still taking the public bus. It's not like a shuttle, but it's so packed, they were just shoving us on. So I'm not saying that you can commit a scam, but I must have, no, because I went to the park. They're back. I think I went to the park like 4 or 5 times, and I only have 3 charges because they didn't validate us at night. So in total it came to $9.81 Canadian. Booked 1 Uber. Like I said, I arrived really late. My phone was dying. I was stressing. I hate Ubers. If you know me, I don't spend money on Ubers unless I absolutely have to. If I can walk, if I can bike, if I can take transit, I will take transit because I think Ubers are so just like overpriced and absurd. I only ever take Ubers if I'm with a bunch of people and we're like going to the bar and there's a big group of us and it's like £4. But I did suck it up and book an Uber because my phone was at like 2% and I was panicking, being lost in France, going to a hotel I've never been to at like 10 at night. So I paid $19.10 for an Uber against my best judgment. Then we got food. I was kind of all over the place. I ate mostly in the parks, I'm not gonna lie to you. I did get McDonald's breakfast one morning. It was $10.68, which is pretty much the same as like what McDonald's breakfast would be at home. I went to Earl of Sandwich one night and got my favorite sandwich. I love Earl Sandwich so much. £7.50 for one sandwich. I don't even think I got a drink. I think I just got a sandwich and ran. The rest are just basically quick service. I bought like a soda at one point. It was $4. It's probably €3 or something like that. And then I have a bunch of charges for quick service. I got champagne on Main Street, which is super fun. I got it on my birthday. That was like one thing that I really wanted to do. That was $30. It was €20, something like that. I don't know. That was like one thing I wanted to do. So I have McDonald's Earl sandwich and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other quick services. And together that came to $126.18, which I don't think is that bad considering I was there for, I didn't have anything to eat that night. I was there for 2 full days and a morning. So I think $125 for like eating like pretty randomly. Like I wasn't like limiting myself. I wasn't packing a lunch. I wasn't like trying to eat cheap. I would go to whatever quick service. I would eat whatever. I would get like fun little snacks. So I feel like that's not that bad because that's what, $50-ish a day plus the last day when I got like a pizza. So probably less than that. I feel like that's not crazy. Now the last one is shopping. Again, you could do this without any merchandise. I did not need to buy any merchandise. I didn't need to spend any money on merchandise. wasn't in the cards for me. So if you want to just do like a solo trip by yourself, ignore this whole merchandise section if you were trying to save money and you just don't want to buy any merchandise. It's okay, I respect that, but also the money I spend on merchandise is like what tickets would cost, so that's kind of how my brain worked. I bought a few random things. Again, I don't know exactly what I bought. I just have prices because I just went through my bank statements. Pandora was the big one. It came to $167.09. I bought 2 charms. I bought the Disneyland Paris exclusive charm and a Tower of Terror charm that I've had on my like list for a long time. Most of the Disney charms I'll just buy in London. Like I really want the Ratatouille charm, but we sell that in, not our store, but like other locations in London sell it. So if I can get my employee discount, I will. So I buy a lot of Disney stuff and Marvel stuff from Pandora, but I buy it with me discount. These were 2 items that I've only ever seen in the parks. We don't even have them like in our MPOS system. Because if we have something in our system, that means that maybe it's around somewhere. But these 2 like weren't even in our system, so they were exclusive to Disneyland Paris. So I spent $167.10 on it. I bought a lot of like little knickknacks, like magnets, keychain, pins. I bought a couple pins. I love a good pin. I bought like a little Ratatouille straw. I just bought a lot of like little like beep boop bobs. So the other amounts were $19.32, $24.72, $26.18, and $31.10. So again, nothing crazy. This next trip, again, I'm not really planning on buying much. I think I want to buy another like plush because I have Baymax now, but look at this poor guy. I got this guy from Mater's Junkyard. I went to California last year, but he's like losing his like, you know how wrinkly he is. So I squish him so much. So I feel like I need to get something to give this guy a little break. But I don't really buy clothes. I don't really buy, I don't know, and I don't really need any more. You can stay there in the back. Cool guy. I don't really need anything else besides this. So next trip, this will be cut down, but I will be spending this money on an annual pass basically. But overall, including the Pandora, I know it came to $268.41, which is a little bit crazy, but also I used to spend so much at the parks in Florida and California. Again, not to give you my life story, but before I worked for Disney, I was an annual pass holder for 3 years, I think, at Disneyland, and I would go to trips down there. So I've always been someone who gives a lot of money to the mouse. So for me, $260 is kind of average. Like that's what I would spend, I feel like, on a Disneyland trip like 10 years ago when I was pass holder. So to wrap this up, because I have been rambling. I hope this was interesting and like you weren't just bored of me chatting for 20 minutes. Okay, I thought I was gonna die for a second, so I left, but I'm back. Where were we? Sometimes I think about how I could just like cut these things. You guys would never know, but then I just rat myself out like an idiot. Without merchandise, so say I bought nothing. I didn't buy these little pens. I didn't buy a bunch of jewelry. I didn't buy a funny little Ratatouille straw. It would have been $735.44 or £412.27, including all my shopping, me alone. It was $1,003.85, which again, I don't think is that much money. Maybe I'm irresponsible, but what are you gonna do? Also, I should give you the pounds. So $1,003.85 is £570.49. Again, maybe I've just gotten used to like spending a lot of money all the time on everything. But for me, especially with the merchandise, £400 is not that much money. Like that's not even half my rent. yeah, I definitely could have done it cheaper if I wanted to. If I'd done like really crappy Eurostar trips, it probably would have been cheaper. The Eurostar usually starts around £44. We have to either do like 6 a.m. or like 10 p.m. I'm not doing the nighttime. I probably would have been fine this time because I'm staying at a hotel directly across from a train station, but I was just like so stressed out last time. I was like not putting myself through that again if I didn't have to. But the Eurostar probably would have been like around the same price because it would have saved me the train ride from my place into Gatwick, because that train is like £10 more I think than what it would just be for me to get into Central. So maybe that would be cheaper, but again, I just wanted to fly because it was easy and I like flying. I like taking a little train. I could have eaten like more like normal food. I was only there for 3 days, so I couldn't justify like doing like a big shop or anything like that. But theoretically I could have, like, especially if I take the Eurostar, like brought like snacks and stuff or drinks with me and like eaten in the hotel more. But for me, like, my favorite thing about going to the parks, actually no, not my favorite, but probably my top 3, is I love trying different foods and I love trying the different snacks and I love Disney food. I think it's so cute and so fun. So for me, that's like something that I'm fine spending money on. Like 20 euros on a little pizza meal. One, I don't think that's that bad because I spend like £30 on friggin' Domino's in London. So that's not crazy for me. £15 on a cute little Mickey pizza, that's fine. But obviously I could have spent less on that than obviously merchandise. But if I look at the pre-merchandise number, I feel like $730 isn't crazy for flights, hotels, transportation, and all my stuff in the parks. I also did like a good amount of time. Again, I got there really late at night. I did 2 full days and then I didn't fly out until like 6 or 7, something like that. So I did like a full park day almost on my last day. So yeah, that kind of sums it up. I hope this is interesting. If you like this, let me know and I can do this again. Like I said, I have this trip in the end of February. I'm going again solo. I'm going with my family in May. So that we're like, not like balling out, but we're going for more days. We're doing 4 nights, I think, and then going to Paris for a day. And we'll probably be eating at a sit-down restaurant, which is something that I never do. I only ever do quick service when I'm by myself. So the price of that will be different. We're also staying, I think the hotel will end up being cheaper because we're splitting it 3 weeks, but we're staying at like a little bit nicer hotel, like a well-known hotel. So I could do that for you as well. If this is gonna get cut, I think I'm gonna have my travel day, which is already up, and this video, and then another Disneyland Paris vlog afterwards. So if you like Disneyland Paris content or Disney content in general, feel free to subscribe. I'm still going through like old content. I have videos from when I worked for Disney and lived in Florida. So I'm like filtering through that now. I'm finally getting settled. I have time to sit down because I never edited when I lived in Florida because it was just like too busy. But yeah, if you want like more up-to-date things, because this platform takes me a little bit longer, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post pretty consistently on TikTok. Instagram is just like a little fun place for more me personality. But I think that is it. Please don't shame me or shame me in the comments. You could rip me a new one if you really want to in the comments, if that's how you're feeling today. And I'll listen to you. Thank you very much. But I will see you guys. I try to upload once a week. And I already missed this week because today would have been the upload day. So I still think I'll see you guys next week, hopefully. Bye!